So 5 weeks ago, my daughter had her special day at school. She's 6, so she filled her backpack with a autographed book of every Disney character that she met when she was at Walt Disney World, her favorite stuffed dog, a picture of mom and dad, thank God, and a picture of Jared Monty, my cousin. And she was really excited about bringing this in. She put it in the backpack, and I was excited for her, but I was a little nervous. The September before I was born, Jared was born. He was born to my mother's next oldest uncle. My mother is one of 13, so we were a very large family. Being close like that is actually wonderful, because home, where I grew up, is wherever your grandparents are. And we'd collect every Sunday, and we'd have snacks. We were too big a family to make supper for everybody. And then we'd get together and we'd play 5-on-5 full-court basketball. And we'd do that because we had a large enough set of cousins that we could do that. My cousin Johnny, who's the oldest cousin, would pick his brother Mikey, and Jared would pick his brother Timmy, and then I would not be picked next because I suck at basketball. But Jared would pick me third on his team. It was him, his brother, and then me. And then for the entire basketball game, Jared would throw me the ball and say, shoot, 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 shoot. And it was like we would lose every game because he wouldn't take a shot, and nobody else on the team would take a shot until such time as I laid in a basket, and that took a long time. Jared was that kind of kid. He was always giving to others. He cut down a tree in the front yard of his parents' house to give to a family that didn't have a Christmas tree. I was a little of a rebellious kid. He went missing for about 6 hours before we found him hanging by his sweatshirt on a fence post in his backyard. And then when he got older and was the 5'6" kid that started on the basketball team and was looking forward to what he was going to do in life, he decided to go into the ROTC. And then junior ROTC, and then went into the Army. And even then, he was always doing for others. He would give up all of his leave all the time so that his soldiers could spend time with their families. He wasn't married. He would take the candy we sent him in care packages. We're a big family. We sent a lot of care packages, and we'd give it away to the kids. When he was in Kosovo, he would pick up the children on one side of the town and drive them across the war zone so they could get to the school. And that was against the rules, and he took a couple of demerits, and then he woke up the next morning and did it again. But he was still a little bit of a badass. So while I was in college, he was running drills. He was an ultramarathoner, and nobody knew that until much, much later. And so in the middle of a winter storm with his troops, he went out on PT on a 10-mile run. Having drank too much the night before, he happened to have the beer shits, but they were warm to start with. He finished the entire run after they froze and tore up his legs. His commanding officer yelled at him afterwards and said, Monty, what are you doing? Why are you walking so funny? He's like, sir, I have shitsicles, sir. So my cousin was a great, great man, and you know, was kind of the person I was closest to when I was growing up. And he was always in combat. He did 2 tours in the DMZ. He was in Kosovo. He did 3 tours in Afghanistan. During his 3rd tour in Afghanistan, he was hit by 60 Taliban while protecting a pass. And he fought off one flank, and he had a soldier that was down, and he couldn't bring himself to not bring somebody home. And so he ran into enemy fire 3 times. On the 3rd time, unfortunately, he lost his life in Afghanistan. I remember my family used to wait for calls at 3 o'clock in the morning, because when Jared called, he was always at 3 o'clock in the morning because he was over there, and he would call and he would immediately ask for chocolate chip cookies, his favorite. We used to call them Toll House in my house, and because my grandmother, coming over from Italy, learned the word Toll House before she learned the cookies, so all cookies were Toll House. And he would ask for Toll House. So when the phone rang at 3 in the morning, you know, I picked it up expecting it to be my cousin. Instead, it was my father saying something bad had happened. And we welcomed him home to Dover Air Force Base, and then we interred him at Bourne National Cemetery in Massachusetts, very close to where we grew up. And the crack of the 21 guns and taps is a crushing sound when you're welcoming a hero home. The Freedom Guard, hundreds of motorcyclists wearing their Vietnam patches on leather vests, blocked us from the Westboro Baptist Church assholes on the other side, and made a channel for us to walk through with him. And we had the flag. And 3 years later, President Obama eulogized him in the White House, and we sat there, my entire family, with all the CNN cameras and listened to somebody who didn't know him at all try to eulogize somebody for their courage and the sacrifice that he made for our country, not just for my family, but for everybody. And then after listening to the brass and the president do their thing, we locked the doors and we sat inside and we eulogized him ourselves over a whole lot of beer and a whole lot of stories that I can't even tell here. And so my daughter came home from school that day and I asked her how things went. I had a little bit of a fear in my heart because, you know, she's 6. She doesn't know anything. She wasn't even born when Jared was killed in combat. And she said it went great. They loved the autographs and they loved my dog and they loved the pictures of you and mommy, and they really loved the picture of Jared, which was him on a mountaintop with a burqa over his, just a few days before he was killed in combat, that I have framed. And I said, well, what did you tell your class about Jared? And she said, Daddy, I told them that he died for our freedom, and that's why we're safe at home. Thank you.
Good, everybody. Great job.
Good job.